Good day, learners. Welcome to Mr. M's oral communication class, where learning English is quick, fun, and easy. If you haven't seen Part A of Lesson 3 or would like to have a refresher, you may access the video here. Now, let's proceed with our lesson. After knowing the different barriers of communication, let's now proceed to the remedy to these barriers through effective communication skills. According to Broom, Cutlip, and Center, they listed down 7 C's of effective communication. These are completeness, conciseness, consideration, correctness, courtesy, clearness, and concreteness. Let's dive into each one. The first C is completeness. It is important that the receiver gets to hear everything so that proper responses, reactions, evaluation, or feedback can be done. Communication is a two-way process where listening is an important role. Without this tool, miscommunication will frequently happen. Communication tip number 1. Make sure to listen attentively when someone speaks. That way, you'll be able to respond and understand properly. The next C is conciseness. This is where the person needs to go straight to the point. There should be no beating around the bush. Irrelevant or redundant information should be eliminated. This is a difficult task, but fruitful in the long run. Being concise helps the speaker emphasize the main idea of the message. It also avoids other misconstrued ideas. Communication tip number 2. Having twists and turns can derail communication. You can avoid this by identifying the gist of the idea and eliminating the irrelevant pieces of information. Try it out. The next time you want to share your favorite movie to someone, you can identify the plot of the movie and share the important scenes using as few words as possible. The next C is consideration. The speaker needs to consider the receiver's mood, status, background, preferences, and needs. One function of communication is to deepen relationships with other people. This is possible when a person considers another person's background. This means knowing what someone else likes or how someone else thinks can help deepen the relationship between one person and another. Overall, choosing the right time, situation, and knowing the right person to talk about builds consideration. Communication tip number 3. Read between the lines. Communication is an important tool to socialize and deepen relationships. You can do this by considering another person's needs, preferences, background, and situation. Try it out. Next time you want to engage a conversation, read between the lines. Check the room and time if it's appropriate. Also, try to identify the needs and level of the other person. By doing these, you may think of appropriate ideas and insights that can engage communication. The next C is concreteness. Information must be supported by facts, figures, or real-life examples and situations. Being credible is a powerful attribute. This is possible by delivering messages that are supported by facts, figures, or concrete examples. Communication tip number 4. Communication is a powerful tool to convince another person. To do this, your ideas should be well supported by hard evidence. Facts, statistics, and data help your ideas become solid. Try it out. Next time you're about to report in class, make sure that you've researched your ideas. The next C is courtesy. Respecting the culture and beliefs of the receiver creates a positive impact. Different people means different individualities. Because of this, there are a lot of opportunities to be misunderstood. Hence, knowing what the culture and belief of the other person is an important stage when it comes to communication. There are certain words, ideas, or concepts that are not agreed on by the other party. When you consider these beliefs and cultures, then a stronger and effective way of communication can happen. Communication tip number 5. To make a good impression, it is important to consider and respect another person's culture and beliefs. By doing this, it creates a positive impact onto another person. Next time you want to engage someone into a conversation, try to ask politely about what they think, what they believe, or what they perceive. This is a good conversation starter. The next C is clearness. The use of simple, specific word in expressing ideas ensures clarity. This also focuses on a single objective to avoid confusing the audience. Most communication breakdown happens when there is a language barrier. For instance, using a different word. For instance, using a different language, an unfamiliar or complicated word, and even a dialect can affect the effectiveness of the message. This can be remedied by using simple and common words depending on the situation. Communication tip number 6. Use direct and clear words. By doing so, this helps establish an objective idea when it comes to communication. This helps smoothen the process of encoding and decoding with another person. Try it out. When talking to someone, be consistent with the words used and avoid verbose or highfalutin words that can affect the meaning of your idea. The last C is correctness. Credibility and effectiveness of the message can be achieved by eliminating grammatical errors. Another remedy for the language barrier. When it comes to a second language, it is inevitable to make a mistake, especially when it comes to grammar. By knowing how to use the correct grammatical rule, language becomes much credible, and people are easily convinced when correct and clear sentences are heard. A helpful practice is to always check the dictionary and even review some grammatical rules when it comes to speaking in English. Once you've mastered this language, then you surely achieved correctness. Communication tip number 7. Follow the grammatical rules. Understanding someone is easy when random words are strung together into a coherent web of ideas. Try it out. When you have a hard time trying to deliver your thoughts, always consider the grammatical rules and conventions. You can always check the dictionary and also style guides so that your ideas can become coherent insights. To summarize, communication is a difficult task, especially when there are various barriers that affect the efficacy of communication. By practicing the 7 C's, you can avoid communication breakdown and even master the art of communication. I hope you've learned something new. If you enjoyed today's lesson and would like to share it with your fellow learners, you may like, share, and subscribe. See you soon for our next lesson.